Hi guys, welcome back to the BMW Guy YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be talking about engines, and more in particular what you should get, whether you should get an N47 or an M47. So for those who don't know, pretty much all of BMW's 2-litre diesels are either the N47 or the M47. That's November 47 and Mike 47. And whether you get this engine depends on the year of the car. So the Mike 47, that's what I'm going to call it just for the sake of understanding, is the early engine car. It's from around the early 2000s up until 2007 when the cars were facelifted. And this engine can be found in the 3 Series, 5 Series and 1 Series, as well as the X3 of the time. And in 2007, the engine was redesigned and called the November 47 engine. Obviously N, but I'm going to call it that for the sake of the video. And essentially, it was redesigned to save money, to make it cheaper to run. So this car here is the N47 engine, the November 47. Just for full disclosure, I have actually owned when the M47, the Mike 47, is a 2005 BMW 120D M Sport, one of the first 7 in the country, and we owned that car for probably 3 years. Put quite a few miles on it, so I've experience with both engines, so I'm totally objective. So essentially the Mike 47 engine was redesigned and became the November 47 engine, and what it did, it fixed a few things, like the air box, the air filter box was located underneath the engine, which made it really difficult to get to, or just a bit more of a pain. And this engine was designed to be cheaper to run, so they extended the fuel economy, they increased fuel economy, they extended the service intervals to every 20,000 miles and made it condition-based servicing, which essentially means you replace stuff when it breaks. So there's a few benefits with that. Obviously you get a cheaper to run engine in theory, but I'll talk about that in a minute. It's newer engine, more MPG. These also got a bump up in power, so the Mike 47s, the 320 or the 120D engine, my first 1 Series, was actually 163 brake horsepower, and I don't know the exact torque, and then with this newer engine, that was bumped up to 177 brake horsepower, and then it could be then further bumped up to 200 brake with the factory kit. So yeah, those are sort of the differences between the engines. So let's get on to whether you should buy a Mike 47 or a November 47. First of all, I'm going to address the elephant in the room and talk about the November 47's timing chain issue. So as I said earlier, the oil changes were made every 20,000 miles, and this was because BMW wanted to make it cheaper to own, cheaper to run, so that more people would buy the car. However, what they didn't actually account for is the extra strain that this would put on the timing chain tensioners. And essentially what happens is, if the oil changes are done according to the BMW servicing schedule, it will break the timing chain, there's no doubt about it. Then again, if you look at Auto Trader, you'll find hundreds of these cars on well over 150,000 miles. So it's sort of luck of the draw, really, whether you get a car that will break or not. The way to stop this happening is for more regular oil changes. So change oil probably maximum every 10,000 miles. So the benefits of the longer service intervals compared to the Mike 47 are sort of negated. The Mike 47 is known for being some of the toughest engines BMW's ever made. Don't get me wrong, they do have various issues like the felt, the swell flaps, etc. do go on them, and you've got to remember that they're generally older vehicles. So that's something to bear in mind, because you're buying an engine that could potentially have more things wrong with it, or more things to go wrong with it, because it's had those extra miles and that just is less technologically advanced. So that's another thing to bear in mind. Also, they're slightly higher taxed as well. So yeah, in terms of power and performance, the N47, the November 47 is the one you're going to want to go for. In terms of overall reliability, I would recommend the Mike 47, provided you can find a low mileage, good condition one. But then you won't be able to benefit things from like the facelift, which is sort of the revised M Sport bumpers, then the different wheel selections, just sort of the facelift, slightly updated interior. So it's really personal preference. But like I said, we had the Mike 47 engine. That was a fantastic engine, and then this I wanted sort of as a tribute to that car. I've actually spoken about that before. It was my dad's car as a company car, and like I said, it was one of the first in the country, the 120D M Sports, and at the time it was the fastest car I'd ever been in. It just felt awesome. So yeah, so I wanted this car because I knew how good they were, but and I wanted the facelift because I prefer the look of it. So that's how I ended up with this car, with the November 47 in. I read a lot of the forums that said don't buy one because the engine will blow up, and I then also did a bit more digging and read buy one as long as it's been regularly maintained, whereas this one had been changed every year or 7,000 miles, because this car wasn't used that much. It was on 80,000 miles when I bought it, which means it did an average of just over 7,000 miles a year, so you can't complain at that really. But yeah guys, that's all really. That's going to be sort of, it's up to you now whether you choose the Mike 47 or the November 47. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe on the video. Let me know what you guys have gone for. It'll be interesting to see how it's split. But yeah, cheers, I'll see you in the next one.